Hello, welcome to Movie Musters Resident Alien Series Finale Review. The end is here, but what a gift this journey has been. Resident Alien ended not with a bang, but with a perfectly awkward, deeply emotional, surprisingly cheesy hug from the universe, and honestly, I wouldn't have had it any other way. With The End Is Here, the series gave us what so few shows get anymore: closure. Real, earned, satisfying closure. And not just in the plot sense. This finale wrapped up Harry's journey, yes, but it also closed the emotional arcs for a town full of broken, hopeful humans, each of them trying, failing, and loving in the most gloriously messy ways. It shouldn't have worked. On paper, this was a show about an alien who crash lands in a sleepy Colorado town and poses as a doctor while learning how to be human. In execution, it became something extraordinary: an existential meditation on loneliness, connection, addiction, grief, and the ways we sabotage ourselves out of fear that we don't deserve to be loved. And it was hilarious. A proper goodbye against all odds. It still stings that Resident Alien was cancelled before its finale aired. And even before that, Sci-Fi and then USA Network shuffled it to 11 p.m. as if to say, we can't even be bothered to show you in prime time on cable. But here's the miracle: it persisted. Through it all, Chris Sheridan and his team never stopped telling the story with heart. They didn't phone it in. They doubled down, leaning deeper into the show's weird, wonderful tone and delivering a final season that dared to ask big questions about identity and purpose while keeping the comedy sharp. The finale didn't just wrap the story, it honored the characters. We got emotional payoffs for Harry, Asta, Darcy, Mike, Liv, Ben, and Kate. We saw Max finally safe, Sahar finally free, and even Harry's alien enemies neutralized, not through destruction, but through understanding. And best of all, Sheridan carved out space for those who had been lost along the way. Ethan, David, Logan, and Mike's dad all made return appearances, not as fan service, but as necessary emotional beats to close those chapters. It felt generous, like a creator acknowledging that just because network decisions silenced those voices, the show hadn't forgotten them. Harry's humanity was never just a gag. Harry began the series planning to destroy Earth. He ends it choosing to leave, knowing he could stay, knowing he'd be loved if he did, but letting go so the people he loves can thrive without him. That's growth. That's sacrifice. That's humanity. The show never shied away from Harry's weirdness. He was awkward, offensive, confused, and often hilariously wrong. But that journey through identity theft, fatherhood, loss, soul-searching, and finally, understanding wasn't played for laughs. It was played for truth. Real, uncomfortable, beautiful truth. There's a scene in the finale where Harry says that humans think they need love from others, but really, they already have everything they need inside them. That might sound cheesy, but when you've spent 4 seasons watching this broken little town put itself back together piece by piece, it's more like gospel. The finale gave nearly every major character a moment of reflection and direction, true send-offs that didn't just say goodbye, but said something. And that's what made it all so emotionally rich. Harry, always terrified of being forgotten, chose to leave Earth not because he wasn't needed, but because the people he loved could now thrive without him. And in doing so, he guaranteed he'd never be forgotten. His legacy would live in the lives he touched in Max, in Asta, in all of Patience. Darcy, whose life had been defined by what she lost, finally saw the beauty in what she could give. Her instinct to mentor young skiers at the end wasn't just a nod to her past, it was the first step in shaping a future she never thought she had. She's leading the charge for kindness and understanding, putting Mike in his place when he failed to realize what Harry's intervention with his father really meant. Kate returned to law, not to escape her role as a mother, but because she realized she'd lost herself in trying to be everything for everyone. Now, by reclaiming her own path, she's found a way to give more to the people she loves, including herself. Asta offered Jay something she could never give before: honesty, vulnerability, history. A box full of unsent letters became the beginning of a real mother-daughter relationship, not based on guilt, but on trust. And Asta, always tethered to Patience through grief and obligation, finally made a choice for herself. She's leaving to become a nurse with an NGO in Louisiana, born from the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and still desperately in need of support. Her departure is hopeful, not a running away, but a running toward. Ethan, rescued and finally free, was killed and became Harry's replacement again, this time as both the town doctor and an alien. But he spent one night connecting with the world and was already showing signs of humanity blooming inside him. He's not being hidden, but embraced by the people who breathed humanity into Harry. You can't help but wonder if Harry would have changed much earlier had he not been kept a secret. Mike believed Harry had done nothing for him, but he was wrong. That planted memory of fishing with his father gave Mike the peace he needed to seek the real thing. And now, finally grounded and ready, he and Liv aren't slowing down. They're just getting started, basically Patience's version of the Men in Black. And Liv? Oh, Liv got her alien, her memories, her truth, and fairies. Her open-hearted belief in the impossible was never foolish, it was exactly what the world needed. Resident Alien got to finish its story. That is a gift. And Sheridan knew it. There's no other show like this on TV right now. Nothing else dares to be this emotionally honest and this silly. Nothing else introduces deep metaphors about humanity using a scene where an alien waxes poetic about yogurt. So yes, I'm crying. Because it's over and because we were lucky. We got to love this show, and it loved us back, all the way to the end. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.